amnesty for illegal aliens. Why would the oligarchs want amnesty for illegal aliens? Why would such billionaires want that? There's a number of reasons. You can pretty much figure it out by now. It's been a couple of years since we've been talking about it. They want amnesty for illegals so that they can have the labor force that no longer exists in America. I mean, I've heard it said, yes, if the illegals go home, the citizenry will do their jobs. No, the citizens won't do the jobs that the Mexicans will do. Let's be real. I've worked around Mexican people for years. They're the finest workers I've ever seen in my life. They're strong. They're good people. I mean, the fact is they're good people. By the way, I have no problem with the working people from Mexico. I've said this 1,000 times on this show. It's not a change of heart all of a sudden. It's not the working people that any of us object to. It's not the family values that we see coming from south of the border that we object to. After all, you look at the churches. Your daughter's not in the church, is she? She's looking for a new pair of shoes. So she's not even married. She has a puppy instead of a child. But the Mexican people, they get married and they have families and they take care of their children. You've heard my eloquent piece inside Kentucky Fried Chicken one Sunday. Remember that beautiful piece? When I went there one day on a Sunday alone to have some chicken, and I saw a young Mexican laborer with his wife and his 3 children were dressed in pretty little dresses. They had just come from church. I said, there's the future of America. It was really heartening to see. It was a beautiful story in its own way. I mean, I see reality, by the way. None of us have a problem with the working people from Mexico or Guatemala or El Salvador or Nicaragua. No one does. No sane person has a problem with that. We have a problem with the fact that 1/3 of all prisoners are illegal aliens. Why are they in prison? Because they didn't come here to work. They didn't come here to get married and work. They didn't come here to raise children and work. They came here to commit felonies, violent felonies in most cases, and they were caught and they were put away. So until we deal with the felons, we can't even talk about immigration reform. The first step has to be to deport all of the felons, but that's not going to happen because the prison unions want the felons in prison. At $60,000 a pop, think of how many different families are feeding off the prison system in America. We have the largest per capita number of prisoners in the whole world. We have a larger number of prisoners in the United States per capita than China does. Did you know that? The last I checked, there was 1.1 million people behind bars. How is that possible? Freedom my eye. You're only everyone listening to the show, including me, is one mistake away from a jail sentence. We all know that. That's why we've all become cloistered. That's why we all withdraw into ourselves and rarely leave the house. I'm not alone. I know this. People are afraid of this country right now. They're terrified of the government's power. They're afraid of the police. They're afraid of the government. They don't trust the courts, etc. Now, if that's a free country, I'd like to know what a prison country is like. So where are we going with this? What do you think is going to happen? Now it's alleged that Obama is going to grant with the pen stroke amnesty to all the illegals, including the felons. Well, pull that one off. I don't know how it'll begin. I don't know where it'll begin, but I think that could be the shot that's heard around the world. Maybe he wants that. I sometimes think that he had to declare martial law just before the elections. I sometimes think they're trying to trigger the crisis of crises, the mother of all crises, in order to declare martial law and have a banana republic at long last, where he can be the supreme commander of everyone without any checks and balances. So be very, very careful of his motives. I don't trust this administration. Do you?
Savage.